Good Sunday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age TV YouTube channel. Talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and dogs and kid and adventures, car addictions, motorcycle addictions. Sunday morning there for anybody there watching my channel. Appreciate you tuning in. And Sunday morning car meet, I don't know. Got a lot of things going on right now. So I don't know if the Sunday morning car meet's going to happen today for any of those that kind of watch my channel and maybe expect to see something. Got busy things to do, and wow, just if anybody's watching my channel, what a day yesterday. Wow. Sure is tempting to take up the Hellcat Charger, right? Boy, I'm driving ages. Or the Bronco. You know, what would I take if I go to the car show today? Kid's going to hang out with the wife today. So, not so sure, so she's not going to be around. Or I drive my nice Bronco up, but I got to take care of business too. Mixed feelings, and wow, I have 2 less Indian motorcycles in my shop. If you're watching my channel, you know what's going on. As I sip on my coffee here and get my day going on a Sunday morning. So, just a lot of things going on yesterday. Just totally unprepared yesterday for what played out. It's just incredible how yesterday I literally ended up buying 2 new motorcycles. Stop, and you look around right now, you'll be like, hey, where are the other 2 Indians, the Super Chief and the Chieftain Elite Series? Where did those go off to? Yeah, those have been traded in on 2 new Indians. I mean, just really crazy even for me. I already know if you're watching my channel. My lens is really dirty, so hold on here. All right, I think that's a little better. But anyways, so if you're kind of watching my channel, you'll notice I have 2 less bikes. And yesterday, I really had a plan to kind of get smaller on the bikes. Just because when you have these many bikes, you just don't ride them all. So that was a goal yesterday that didn't play out. The goal that ended up not playing out, or I should say the goal that what I was trying to accomplish for the last year and a half, is I ended up buying a brand new Indian Challenger Pursuit. Yeah, I mean, just incredible. I mean, it just doesn't stop when I go to get rid of one thing and then something else populates that I gotta have that. So I bought was a new Indian Super or the Indian Sport Chief. So if you kind of know the Chief line, this is the bobber setup. Some of you say, well, you've already got a Sport Chief. If you just changed out your floorboards to more of that style foot peg, and if you changed out the handlebars and you put a fancy little front fairing on the bike, in so many ways you've got yourself the exact same bike and save yourself a ton of money. Yes, that's pretty much somewhat true, even though the rear shocks aren't the same. The motor's a 111, the Sport's a 116, and you would never have officially a Sport Chief bike, so you'd always be the copycat. But anyways, just crazy, just beyond believable. What are the odds of me going to Motorcycles of Dulles, a local dealer? I haven't been to that dealership now, good. I would just say at least 9 months to a year. I don't even know. And for me traveling around the country and being in Florida and Tennessee and other parts of the country, and I see the inventory of Indian dealers, and typically they don't have a Pursuit in stock. And if they even do have a Pursuit, it's not the color or it's not the premium package. And then the new Indian Chief Sport or Sport Chief, which I really haven't been fixated on that. That motorcycle there, those usually don't sit around too long at the dealerships. They usually kind of move pretty quick. That's kind of a hot item right now for the Indian Chief series. So what's the odds of me just out of the blue yesterday morning, just for the heck of it, saying I'm going to take my bike down? And really what it was more about was me being on a venture to get the Slingshot Roush Edition that's still available local to me that I tried to buy here now close to a month ago, and I was really more than mission to just kind of sell those two Indians, and that would free up the availability for me to be able to buy that Slingshot R. Oh my gosh, here's the dogs. The dogs are all been shaved. The flea situation is just so bad that I finally got motivated late last night and I shaved them. I mean, because they're just it's just so bad. So my one dog just totally freaks out when that happens. Yeah, I just thought this morning I'd make a nice Sunday morning conversation, adventures of what played out, and as far as any real content, me, not really. Just more about a Sunday morning say hello, little video, and just for those who didn't know that I did what I did yesterday, I've got video yesterday showing me being down Motorcycles of Dulles and how that all played out. But once again, when I got up yesterday, I was very fortunate that I had time to do other things besides projects, and I just got motivated to take the bikes down to that dealership and get some values. So really what I was going to do, I was going to get values on those bikes, and then I was borderline just going to take, if they weren't strong enough, which they weren't, the numbers. So just to give you a heads up, anybody watching my channel, just to show you where the bike market is. And this is the thing. The motorcycle market, and these are people I've known for years at this dealership, and you can take whatever when people tell you, but they're definitely now seeing a change of the people that bought all the motorcycles during the pandemic that really haven't ridden them and turning them back in. So that is now more so, per se, of the gentleman that I deal with down there. He said that, yeah, here's the last good few months, they're definitely getting the phone calls of people who just want to sell their motorcycle. And some people are still trading them in to get something else. But more than ever, if you kind of start, I even talked about this here, I don't know, a week or two ago when I called another Indian dealer, Twigs Indian, out of Hagerstown, Maryland. I called them about that Super Chief, if they had any interest in it, and the guy's like, nope, no. I've got too many used motorcycles, I have nothing to do with it. Even to the point, at Motorcycles of Dulles, they're out of room to hold used motorcycles where they're having to roll in and roll out the used bikes every day because it ties up so much of the shop area, and they don't have enough room. So it's a major 20, 30-minute project every day in the morning and in the afternoon of them taking the used motorcycles in and out of the dealership. And to the point, they're going to have to put a second level on in their dealership just to start taking care of the growth that business is seeing. But they're still doing very, very well, extremely well. I mean, I was there yesterday, tons of people there. They're selling motorcycles. And then down in Tennessee, I called my other dealership, Friendship Indian, to see if they could get me a number on that Indian Chieftain Elite Series. And they were so busy. They're so busy. So the gentleman down there, JJ, really nice guy, I called him when I was there, because even the owner of the Motorcycles of Dulles, he was like, hey, you go do some research. He's like, I have no problem with that. Let me know what other dealers are offering you that bike. That's fine with me. He's good. I've known him now for like, I'd say 5 years, 6 years. And so anyways, as the day progressed, the gentleman that I called never got back to me. And then it wasn't until late last night that he actually, I should say late yesterday evening, like 6 o'clock, he finally called me, and he really apologized because he said that they were slammed. They're overwhelmed. There were so many people there at the dealership wanting to buy things that he didn't have time to really focus on me. And I asked him to look into when he has another Challenger Pursuit coming in, and he said nothing. They have nothing coming in, and everything that's coming in is already spoken for. And of course, he said sometimes people back out of the deal, but he said right now we have no inventory of the Challenger Pursuits, and there's nothing to be available for any time soon unless you want to come down and order one. So wow, so the Indian market, so I should say the motorcycle market on the Indian side, I guess the BMW side, the Triumph side. I'm not talking about Harley, but I'm talking about the dealerships that I know of. I talked about they're extremely they're doing very well still, but they're seeing a lot of used bikes. But I think it's excuse me. I think it's the market area too that all comes down to. I mean, I think it's just pockets of wherever you are in the country. It's just like anything. I think some areas are still doing extremely well, and I think some other areas are probably more challenged. And so, anyways, so yesterday I'm down there, and so now they're doing, what the bike dealers do anymore is they have to go to the worst case scenario. If they can't sell the motorcycle, who will buy it from them? So they'd have to go to the auction wholesale pricing, and individuals that will buy motorcycles and take them to auction, should it be the worst case scenario on what's going to happen. But here's the thing, the used motorcycle market per se has really dropped a lot here in the last 60 days because just so many used bikes are coming to the market. So anyways, the Indian Elite that I bought, the Chieftain that I bought in February of 2021 for my birthday from up there at State Line College, best Indian or best motorsports, whatever the name of the conglomerate is up there. And I had a little video of my daughter and I going up there back in February of 2021. If you look at my channel, you'll see that video. And me picking up that bike. Beautiful bike. A lot of sentimental value. Borderline hard to even get rid of it. And so I paid for that bike. It was a $33,000 bike. I got it for $31,000. And then I did the Reinhardt exhaust and a stage 1 air cleaner tuner on it. And the sissy bar was already on it. So I didn't do anything really radical to that bike as far as doing many add-ons. So that bike there, his initial quote, just buying it outright, was $20,000. I'm like, no way. I mean, my number was more like maybe 23. Because I already know, if he's going to put it in the market, a brand new Chieftain Indian's going to be like $27,000, $28,000. I mean, that's but then keep in mind, a brand new one, you're going to pay all those stupid back end fees. So you're going to be at $30,000. But what lures a person in, it'll be $27,999. And so you have a 3-year-old motorcycle that you try to sell for $27,999. It's not going to work. I mean, it's just very challenging. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but you as an individual. So the market for me, could I get 25 for it? Maybe 26? Maybe I could. I mean, I don't know. I never put it out there to even try, but I wasn't on that mission yesterday to necessarily part with it. So then the Chieftain, the Super Chief, I've now had 3 different dealers put a number on that Indian Super Chief. 2022 Indian Super Chief, $10,000. $10,000. That's what these auctions are going for. That's a $20,000 motorcycle. Here's the reality. In the real times of buying a motorcycle, when you buy it, it's basically worth half what you paid for it. That's the reality. Because if you don't realize, these motorcycle dealerships, they probably have about a 30% markup. I was in the equipment, lawn and garden, trailer business years and years ago, and typically dealers have anywhere from 20 to 30% markup in their product. So that $20,000 motorcycle, the reality is they're into that motorcycle for maybe $15,000, $16,000 maybe. And so, they've got to have at least a $3,000-$4,000 profit margin on that bike to be able to stay in business. You can't stay in business making $500 off a motorcycle. And all the dealers know this with each other, so they don't give stuff away because it just doesn't do anything for you besides just giving stuff away. So anyways, the Super Chief, wow. So in the real market, so I paid $17,000 for it down in Florida. That's just this past January. So they probably gave that, I would guess, back. They probably gave that person maybe $13,500, $14,000 for that bike. Maybe 15. I mean, who really knows? Maybe more than that. I don't know. So anyways, so now I'm like, no way. I'm like, there's no way. I'm not giving the bikes up for our price. So I was like, I need 23 and I need like 14 out of my Super Chief. So now for the hell of it, I said, hey, you know what? I said, here's the challenge for me. If you guys have an Indian Challenger Pursuit in a crate back there. I'll probably end up buying that damn thing and let these bikes go for that. So now the one sales guy is like, we don't have any. We don't have any. We don't have any. We don't have any. And I'm like, I think you have one. He's like, no, we don't have any. So now the owner comes out, because we're going back out to the trailer to hammer the numbers of the bike. And, because I'm just like, man, you got it. So now he's like, all right, I'll give you 21 on your, your Elite, and I'll give you. He's like, I just don't want your cheap. He's like, I really don't want it. He's like, I really don't want that bike. I'd rather just buy out your Elite. I said, all right. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have a Indian Challenger Pursuit premium package? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm not sure. Well, let's go look. So as we go walking around in the back shop, there's a brand new Indian Pursuit that's been taken out of the crate that's getting ready to be put together, and it's a premium package. And I'm like, here we go. I'm like, here we go. So now he's like, all right, let me go find out what the heck this thing is. And somebody ordered it, or blah, blah, blah. And at the exact same time this is all going on, another sales guy walks out that's a different sales guy, and he's looking over the bike and everything. And I'm like, what is this all about? So I'm thinking, here we go. This is somebody else's bike. So I said, hey, what's going on? He's like, I'm just taking pictures of the bike. I said, did John tell you to come out here and get this bike information to get the deal going? He's like, no. He's like, I have a person that wants to buy this bike. And I'm like, all right. I said, are they here? He's like, no, they're talking over the phone. I'm like, okay. Oh my gosh, so here we go. So now we're going round and round with the numbers. We're around. So now I'm just like, all right. So now he's like, okay. The owner's like, I'll tell you what. If you want to get the Indian Pursuit Premium, I'll give you 22, and we fought for 12. I got him to 12 on the Super Chief. Yeah, but he's like, man, I just don't really want that bike. But he's like, all right, to do the deal, I'll do that. I'll do that deal. So now I'm like, all right. So now I'm just thinking to myself, if I get rid of that Super Chief, and I even told him, I was like, I don't know. I think I just may take out a deal. If I get rid of the Super Chief, then my daughter doesn't really have the bike that I think she'd be at least somewhat, comfortable and confident on. And so I don't know. So anyway, so now I'm walking around, and all of a sudden I see there's an Indian Dark Horse Sport Chief that's blacked out in the showroom. And I'm like, because I saw another Sport Chief with a sold sign on it that was the gray color. And so now I'm like, wait a second, I've got another idea. So now I go back into the dealership, and I'm like, all right, whole new game plan. And the owner's like, what? I'm like, 2 for 2. He's like, 2 for 2? He's like, I'm all down for that one. I'm like, right. So let's get the Sport Chief part of the deal now. So now, meanwhile, Performance Finance Group has 2 loans on 2 Indian motorcycles I own. And I last year could not get a third loan to buy that Pursuit. If you watch my channel, you really do stay in tune with it, which is just too much information. But Performance Finance Group is a company that has been buying me loans on my motorcycles for the last, now 3 years. And so, but they will not go for a third loan, even though my values to when I own the bikes is very low. I owe like 11 grand on one and 13 grand on another. These are $30,000-$40,000 bikes that I have very little exposure to and the debt owed to them. But they won't do it. They won't give me another freaking, smaller loan. So here's a challenge. I'm like, okay, we're going to take the one bike that I have a lot of equity in, and we're going to trade it for the new Pursuit, and that'll pay off the one loan to create a new loan. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind they'll do that deal. But now in the second deal here, that would be basically adding a third loan, which they just won't do. They won't do it. So now, okay, I said, but the value of that Chief will give me the money just to pay off that other loan. And then once that's paid off, then that will enable me to get that other bike. But that will probably take 7 to 10 days for all that process to get done. So it's not going to happen today. So now so the owner's like, well, I know the finance people and I can call them and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, and you're going to tell them you're going to mail them a check to pay off the loan and to be able to do the deal. And I said, it's going to get too complicated. So at the last second, I said, look, here's the ball game. We do the deal with the pursuit, get that deal approved. Then we submit another deal for the chief was showing $12,000 going towards that motorcycle for the purchase of it. And it's very low exposure of the bike, and begged for mercy for a third loan. And the owner's like, yeah, that's what we do. So now they run the whole deals, they do the deals, and of course the second deal, and it's the chief, is being held up. They're rejecting the third loan. They don't want to do the third loan. So now, meanwhile, all this is going on, and there's so many new people at the dealership. This lady Stacy that I've never met before is a new finance person there. Very nice lady. If she's watching my channel, that'd be pretty cool. She wrote down my channel's name. She's interested to see what I do and say. And so anyways, so the other finance lady there, Laura, she's very overwhelmed with other tasks and doing 2 deals here and 2 deals there. Yeah, just rock and rolls at that dealership. It's just incredible. And so anyways, the Stacy lady, she's a former mortgage underwriter. And sadly, she lost her job a year ago, August, because of the current times of the housing market, which, she's like, yeah, it's so goofed up. She's mad at this administration because she feels like what they've done to her job and what they've done to the housing market is they totally have ruined it. So anyways, so now she's a part of this deal, and she used to be an underwriter, so she knows the underwriter language and how to get deals done. So now it's late in the day, and now we're all like, okay, what do we do? I'm like, I just want to go home. I want to get the hell out of here. You guys figure it out. Call me, Nick. Call me when you open back up Tuesday. Whatever. I get out of here, and I'll just unload the bikes, and I'll be back. And so right before I'm getting ready to leave, Stacy goes, it's done. I'm like, what? She's like, I got you your third loan. I'm like, you got a third loan? You realize for the last 2 years, I've been trying to get a third loan for them. They will not ever do it. It's just their policy. They won't do it. She's like, I got it done. I'm like, Stacy, she is awesome. So if you're watching my video today, Stacy, thank you very much. I mean, wow. She just is like, pow, pow. She gets it done. Yeah, she's dangerous now. It's like, what else do you want to buy, right? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so for those watching my channel, I know it's not the Sunday morning car meet. Got other things to do, and I just like to share what my adventures are because I am the guy that constantly goes out and buys things. And it's the car gods. It's the motorcycle gods. I can't emphasize enough that yesterday, had that dealership not had the Indian Pursuit in stock there, and had they not had the Indian Sport Chief, the video yesterday would have been a much shorter video, and it would have been more about do I or don't I sell the Indians. And at that stage yesterday, I probably would have packed up. And that's what I was saying earlier. I really had a goal to open up the door to buy the Slingshot. And that's what I was wanting to do, is pay off one of my loans so that they will buy the deal. So I probably would have packed up the truck and trailer. I would have probably driven out to Moto Member, which is in Purcellville, Virginia, and I would have shown up, and then I would have had them come out, look at the bikes, and I would have negotiated a deal, and then I would have the numbers to say, look, this is what the other dealer's going to sell this stuff or buy it from me, and so you got to come to the table. But I don't know if they could have done that because they're not an Indian dealer, and they're looking more just to wholesale it out. And that's why I went to the Indian dealer, because I just knew that Moto Member, the numbers would be very low, and it'd be much more challenging. I just wouldn't be excited about the deal because they've already put a number on that Super Chief here like 3 weeks ago, and it was like that $10,000 number. They just don't want it. So anyways, that was kind of how everything played out yesterday by accident. It's once again, I talked about it all the time. It's like the car gods, the motorcycle gods. What's the odds? And I know, even for my wife, she's like, oh, I hear these stories all the time. Yeah, you got something so unique and special. And if you're not abreast of what's going on in the market of the product you want, then yeah, it just sounds like a story. I'm sure a lot of people are like, those Indian Challenger Pursuits, they're everywhere. They're not. Okay, yeah, there's Indian Pursuits out there for sale at dealerships, but the majority of the time, they're not the premium package. Or that's the blacked out stealth package, which I don't want. I really wanted that iconic package, the black, red, and white. It's more white with black and red, theme in it, which that's a really good looking bike. And instead, I got the silver smoked quartz. I think that's the name of it. And I think the bike's a good, clean looking bike, and just wow. And it's now a year later, coming up this weekend, that a year ago I was in Tennessee and I was trying to buy my factory ordered, special order, premium package, the Burgundy Pursuit, that the deal never went down. So, anyways, there you go. Just a Sunday morning, I guess, round table discussion, is it? Even though you're not here to, well, you are. You can put in the comments what you like or don't like, or how crazy am I again. And yeah, letting go of that Elite Challenger or the Elite Chieftain. Yeah, I had, but last weekend after riding it, I kind of came to closure that the bat wings are nice. The bikes that have the fixed, have the way when you steer the bike, the front fairing moves with the bike, okay? Versus a fixed fairing is where when you turn the handlebars, the fairing stays the same position. It never moves with the handlebars. So I just am kind of more, I've just had so many Batwing bikes. I just kind of really like that fixed fairing. And that's just kind of where I am. And to round it up, I've got a gentleman now that wants to buy my Indian Challenger Elite down in Tennessee. I put it on Marketplace. I've had one guy lowball the heck out of it, but another guy yesterday that's out of Pennsylvania wants to come get it today, which I don't have it today. So here's the thing. So I didn't even really talk much about that, just too much information. But yeah, my Indian Challenger Elite, I'm going to let it go. I mean, I'm just going to let it go. I would rather have the touring pack option. And at the end of the day, this Indian Pursuit premium package is the same motorcycle as that Indian Elite Challenger Elite that I have in Tennessee. And I would just rather, but here's the danger. If I sell that, then that kind of opens the door back up for the Slingshot, because then that loan will be paid off. And since I already have 3 loans with Performance Finance now, why wouldn't they honor a third loan? I don't know. That could get a little more heavy, and that would be a whole different dealership, because they don't sell Slingshot at Motorcycles at Dulles. They don't have any room to sell them, and that just opens up a whole other variable. So does that play out down the road now? Is that another whole adventure? I don't know. I'd have to say, ooh, that's a real Slingshot long shot on that one. But the whole point is, yeah, the Indian Challenger Elite, after getting this Pursuit, I just can't see having both of the basically the same bikes, with one has a tour pack and one doesn't have a tour pack. So anyways, hey everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Some may be intrigued to watch this and just listen to the never-ending conversations talking, and I guess maybe I talk a little about the state of the times of the used motorcycles, because if you've got a used motorcycle, now probably really is the best time to sell it now, because it's just the market's getting very soft. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. God bless, stay safe, and stay tuned for more adventures.